Hi folks, Crunch Ops here. Thought I'd do something a little bit different. If you've been following me on Twitter or on Instagram, you probably know that I've been doing quite a bit of cooking outside with the smoker. Gonna do the same thing today, but instead of just taking some pictures, I thought I'd do a little video, just kind of show how I did it and put it together. Hopefully it tastes good. Otherwise, don't follow this recipe, but I think it's gonna be all right. Normally, I've been doing a lot of brisket and pork butt. And had some really good pulled pork with that. Done a little bit of ribs. Did ribs a couple weeks ago. But I don't have any of that stuff in the house right now. And if you know me, and if you guys follow me, you do. You know what I do have. I've got beer. So we're going to have some beer can chicken tonight. So let me kind of show you what I'm going to do here. So my wife and I picked up a couple chickens at the grocery store this couple days ago, and that's what we're going to be doing out on the smoker. First and foremost, just so you know, I'm not going to show all this on video, but I'm going to do little bits and pieces. I am going to inject the chicken with some melted butter and probably some garlic sauce and or garlic salt and celery salt, just to give it some flavor on the inside. Let that sit for a couple hours. I'm going to throw it on the cooker probably this afternoon around 3 o'clock. Maybe a little later than that. Depends upon how hot I can get that thing running. It is kind of cold outside. It's supposed to snow tonight, and it's only November 4th, so that sucks. But we'll see. But that's kind of my plan right now. But first and foremost, I need to make some rub. And best kind of rub is the stuff that has lots of flavor. So we're going to start off with some coarse black pepper and some paprika, which is fantastic on chicken. But garlic salt, celery salt, oregano, and of course I'm from Texas, so got to have some cayenne red pepper. And of course I'm from Texas, so we got to have some chili powder. So all that's going in the rub. That will go in the bowl here, get mixed up, and that'll go in my shaker. And then from there, I will be putting together the butter concoction that I will inject inside of the chicken, and then we'll let it sit in the fridge for a couple hours. Go Snark Alex. And there you go. There's the rub, and that will be put on the breast and the legs and the wings. Well, probably not the wings. There's not much to them, but the thighs and the drumstick, the leg. And we'll be putting that underneath the skin because we don't want it just be on top of the skin. It all comes off whenever we're all done. So that's going under the skin. Hopefully that's going to give it some good flavor. And whatever's left over will go into the beer as we cook to help get that flavors on the inside of the chicken as well. All right, so here's one of our birds. I've taken it out, took everything out of the inside, and washed it down real good, patted it dry, and next is just going to injection. You know, I wasn't going to show this, but I'm just going to show a little bit. This is what I use to inject. I use that for everything. It's a real good little tool. And here's my butter and garlic concoction with a little bit of celery salt in it as well. It should be delicious. And the goal with the chicken is, you know, unlike brisket and some of the others, is I'm not going to be putting a whole lot in here. Just a little bit to try and make sure. I want to make sure that this thing is nice and moist when it's all done. It has a nice flavor to it. So just a little bit is all I'm going to put in. So, you know, what I have there is plenty for two birds. So, all right, so. And that's our bird, and this is our little kid. And man, you're going to love this. Yeah, you are. The chicken has been injected with the butter and seasoning, and the rub has been applied on the inside and the outside. Now they're going to sit for a while in the refrigerator. Don't really need to, but a little early for me to start cooking, so I'm going to let them sit and marinate a bit, and we'll get back to it in a little bit once I get the smoker going. Now the part that stinks. I got to do some cleaning. Right, so pop quiz. How do you know that Crunch Ops is going to be smoking something or grilling on the barbecue? Because it rains every time. But anyway, got charcoal started. We gotta wait for it to get heat up, and in the meantime, I will be prepping the smoker. All right, so my coals are ready. Until they're a little gray. I'm gonna add this to this. Again, it doesn't take a whole lot to get it started. Alright, so normally we'd be cooking low and slow if it's like a brisket or a roast or pork or ribs or something, but this is chicken, so we're going to want to cook it at a high heat. So rather than 225, we're going to try and get up to around 2 or 325. So I've got some modifications. I am just doing straight coal. I'm not worried about doing the minion method around so that I get a longer cook. This should be done in a couple hours. I probably have too much coal in there anyway. I have removed the water pan, so I'm not going to do water because I want to get a high heat rather than try and maintain a low temp. So I've got it foiled so I can clean it up nicely, and then I've got a couple terracotta pots I put in there that should absorb the heat and kind of act as a heat sink so my temperatures don't fluctuate a lot. That also is a real nice way to clean up afterwards. Take off the foil, done. Alright, so I'm going to get this on here. Oh. Alright, so that's done. I'll check all my wires. So I have modified my smoker. As you can see here, I added a grommet so I can pass through all my cables. So I got a couple cables here. I have a temperature probe for the meat, and then I have 2 probes for the temperature. One is going to go to this little sucker right here, the IQ 110, which is sweet. It connects down here, it blows air, it helps stoke the fire and keep it at a constant temperature. The other one goes to my ET732, which was it kind of you have a remote that you can carry around the house with you, and it'll let you know temperature of the grill and the temperature of the food, and it'll beep when it's done. It's actually pretty simple. Got some nice smoke coming out. I haven't added any wood yet. I want to get it up to temperature first before I do that. So I'm just going to put this on. Let it start coming up to temp. I could probably just drop those down in here for now. Alright, so I'll get this connected so we can start stoking that fire and let it sit for a while, let it get up to temp, and then we'll put the meat on. Alright, one of my favorite parts of the cook. I'm going to need a couple beers. So I went downstairs, grabbed a couple, and a couple more. And what we need to do is figure out something to keep the other half of each can of beer in. So I think I'm just going to drink it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what I'm going to do. And then, so a half a can of beer for each bird. That's good. Could use an olive. All right, so smoker's outside warming up. Hoping that it gets up the temp that we want. We wanted to get it to 325-ish. It is kind of chilly outside, so fingers crossed that it's going to happen. If not, it'll just take a little longer for it to cook. I just want to cook it fast. And the reason why I want to do a higher temp is because I want to try and get a crispy skin on the outside rather than, you know, more the softer skin. I'd rather have a crispy skin if I can get it. So that's kind of the goal, and that's why I'm going to 325 to cook these things. I want to get the birds up to 170 before I start checking. I want to get the breast up to like 170. I want to get the dark meat up to about 180. So anywhere in there, I'll be happy and I'll be able to pull them off. Right now, it's a little after 3. Probably won't put the birds on for another hour or so. Probably cracked that beer a little too soon, which is all right because I forgot and I drank it all. So I may have to go downstairs and get more beer. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, I'll probably need to do that. This is kind of the scary part of the cook because I am smoking outside and the neighbors can smell the smoke. We've lived here for 10, 11 years, 12 years, something like that. And during that time, we've eaten a lot of restaurants and a lot of different places, and I'm pretty convinced that it's to season your food here in Minnesota is just illegal. I'm gonna have to check the penal code just to make sure, but I'm pretty sure it's illegal, and I'm kind of afraid the neighbors might turn me in if they smell that stuff cooking out there. But I keep my fingers crossed. We have to. We'll give them some. And that may alleviate it a little bit. So anyway, I'm just sitting here waiting now, waiting for the chance to throw it on. In the meantime, I'm having a couple beers and watching my temperature right here. With I'm sitting at, I don't know if you can see that or not, but I'm sitting at 295. It's backwards on that thing. Anyway, 298. So it's getting up to temp. I want to get 325 and then gonna try and hold it steady there. So it'll take a little while to get through that. I want to make sure all my temps are good before I throw the meat on. Anyway, that's what I'm doing. Talk to you later. So my wife has asked me, why do I buy all these little gizmos, the smoke stuff, all the little temperature gauges and all that stuff? Well, here's the reason why. So if you look at temperature probe that's sitting on the grate right now, it's sitting at 329, right? Very close to 325, which is where I have it set at. And this thing is a dial, so who knows if I'm right on 325 or not. Actually, I'm a little over it now that I see it. So, and this is going to be hard to see. This is set at 325, a little over 325. And you see the solid green light? That means that it is right on temperature, and it's going to hold it right there. So 325 a little over, showing 331 over here. But if you look at the thing that came stock on here, it says it's sitting at 250. That's a good 75 degree difference. So that's why I bought all this other stuff and have these other little gizmos. It's to make sure that I've got the right temperature right at the grate where I'm cooking the meat. Because that's key to making sure you've got a good, fine quality product. Just a little tip from Crunch Ops. Alright, it is 4 o'clock and about half hour before I throw the meat on, the chicken on. So far all I've got on here is charcoal, but I need to put some wood on so that I get some smoke. Now normally, I think everything else I've ever smoked I've used mesquite for. I've mixed some apple in and some hickory and some other stuff. But this is chicken. So chicken will absorb that smoke pretty readily. So I want to be very careful and not over smoke this stuff. So here's what I'm going to do. About half hour before, there we go. This is apple. And get a few chunks of apple and toss it in. And the goal right now is to start making smoke. And again, I don't want to put too much, but enough so that I get some nice smoky flavor. A light smoky flavor, which is why we're going with apple. If I can get this sucker back on there when it's hot. Alright. Hard to do when you can't see. There we go. There. And that's hot. Alright, note to self. Get some gloves or something. Alright, here. Alright, now it's on. Okay, so we threw in what, 4 pieces? 4 chunks of apple. And we should start to see some smoke coming out here pretty soon. There we go. Alright, give about half an hour, get going, and we'll throw the meat on. We've done about 6. Look at that. That is beautiful. You know, I don't ask for much. I'm a pretty easygoing guy. All I wanted, I just spent the last 10 minutes trying to find a clean piece of paper somewhere in this house, and every little piece of paper had something drawn on it. So I'm going to end up having to use this one, I think. And I'm just going to make a funnel and take what's left of my rub. I have 2 half-a-cans of beers here somewhere. There it is. I'm going to pour that in, and then I'm going to go outside and insert the can into the butt of the chicken. I don't think they're going to like it very much, but that's what's going to happen. And we'll get it on the grill. Right, here we go. It's about 4:30. I got 2 chickens. See some seasoning on the outside on the skin. I had a little left over, so I seasoned the outside as well, but primarily the seasoning is under the skin on these birds. They're going on the smoker, 4:30. You see my temperature gauge and the rest of one of them. And let's see if we can get all this on here. And we do. Perfect. All right, let's give it some time. All right, as you can see here, the meat internal temperature, I just put it on, is sitting at 50 degrees, coming out of the refrigerator. And the grill dropped down to 286 when I took the top off, so it'll warm back up. It'll start cooking, and won't be long. We'll have some chicken ready to go. And here we go, final product. It does smell good. All right. How's the chicken?
Good. Good.
How's the chicken, Peter?
Good.
How's the chicken, Sean?
I don't know yet.
Don't know yet.
It's delicious.